Hey, hey, everybody. Welcome to our live. If you guys are new here to my channel, we mostly talk about business, developer stuff. And today is kind of a special live with Dania and myself that we are going to be doing every Thursday night. Is that correct?
Yep. Hey guys, how are you? What is everyone drinking?
Yeah. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
I'm supposed to take a sip, probably.
Yeah, I think it's like bad luck not to.
Oh. All right, you guys. So today or tonight, we're going to be talking about the 5 steps about building a personal brand. So who here is currently like working on that? All right. So the first step, I think Dania is going to kind of go into that a little bit. What's the first thing that people really need to think about when they're wanting to start a brand?
Yeah, so number one, guys, the very first thing that you have to do, especially with a personal brand, is really define who you are. And defining who you are also means defining who you're not. So determine who you are, who you're not, who you want to be, exactly what you do, and why you do it.
That is very, very, very true. So how does somebody go about like figuring that out? Like, who are you? It's kind of such a broad thing.
Right. So I think the important thing to think about is who are you within what space? And we'll kind of get into niche marketing later and choosing a specific audience. But to kind of figure out who you are, if you're totally lost, if you've never done a personal brand before, if you're not sure what you're eventually going to sell or build or what your business may be, but you want to start branding yourself, you need to be authentic and choose things that align with you. So choose values, core values, things about yourself, whether it's rituals that have nothing to do with your workday or exactly what you do for work. You know, if you're a programmer, maybe you're a graphic designer, maybe you're an artist, maybe you design jewelry, whatever it is, you have to figure out exactly what it is that you're doing to understand, you know, who you are in that and what you align with so that it all feels really genuine.
That's awesome. And how do you necessarily like go about deciding, how to bring that up in say like a post or a video? Is it something that needs to be like clearly thought out or more spur of the moment type stuff?
Yeah, I think, you know, we can get away with a lot when you do things spur of the moment, but every, you know, success, when you want to be successful in personal branding, especially online and in social media, you need a content calendar. You need to figure out what you're posting, when you're posting, and what exactly you're posting about. Because if you're constantly, you know, scrambling on your phone, like, oh my gosh, I haven't posted in 4 days. Let me find a random photo and decide what to write about. You're not going to have the consistency, and you'll find that you're really only writing about what you wanted to write about in that minute, not necessarily what your audience wanted or needed to hear.
That's a good point. I catch myself doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, not all the time. Usually like my stuff is pre-written, but
Right.
there are those moments. So do you think that it's like 30 days out, or how far out should you like be planning your posts?
I would say bare minimum you should plan 30 days because
Oh
there
my
will
gosh.
be things that change. Random holidays come up. If you're, for example, if you're a restaurant who's really affiliated with their bar and you have heavy nightlife, all of a sudden it's National Tequila Day that someone made up, and guess what? You need to post photos of tequila. So there's going to be those kinds of viral situations that are happening on social media that you need to keep up with and be present with. So if you're planning out the 30 days, you have a lot of buffer room. You have a lot of space to move things around, integrate something new in. But on the 3 days where there's no national holidays of beverages, you have other content to go to, and that kind of keeps you consistent. And it'll make your life a lot easier because you're not scrambling and wondering what to post or do next.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you use any particular application that sort of organizes it all?
Yeah, so there are a lot of applications that you can use. I've used Unum, I've used Plan. All of those are great ones. Also, when you look at your third-party social media management software, such as even a platform like Buffer or Sprout Social, they will have an ability for you to plan and calendar organize within those third-party applications. But I do want to say a warning that I have personally moved all of my clients off of third-party applications because
Gotcha.
of the API changes that happened with Instagram and the algorithm in April 2018. So we've moved everyone away from Buffer, and now we're doing content calendar planning in the style more so of a fancy Excel sheet.
Wow, bringing it back.
There's actually an amazing app called Airtable. If you like to content calendar, if you're product planning, if you're about to launch a product, they actually have some seriously cool templates that you can find and show you amazing ways that you can create these cool like drop downs, ways to organize all of your content, plan it out, include the links and the dates. And so I've been using Airtable because it's been really efficient for us and keeps us safe from Instagram trying to get rid of third parties.
Yep, that makes sense. Airtable is great. It's super customizable, like Dania said. I've used it at previous companies and really liked it.
Yeah, definitely go check them out. They're cool.
So what would be step number dose for people?
Yeah, so step number 2, we slightly touched on, but it's super important. You need to find your audience and research them. It's not enough to figure out where they live in terms of what platform or even who they are. You do want to create a brand persona. You want to create a consumer persona. So who is the typical follower? What do they look like? What TV shows do they watch? What's their favorite color? What do they like, apple aesthetic, or do they like darker aesthetics? You need to figure out all of those things, and that comes with researching the demographic to really understand them. And when you understand them, you can create your strategy from a much stronger place than, oh, like this pic seems cool. It's, oh, this photo is something that perfectly aligns with the brands that my followers love.
And is this to make sure that your audience like sees your photo and engages with it? Or is there like another meaning or reason behind it?
Yeah, I think it's definitely because you want them to engage, because if you have an audience of 500,000 people who really don't care about what you're posting, they're not liking it, they're not engaging with it, they're not commenting, they're not asking questions, they're not interested in you. They're just not. So 500,000 means nothing unless you have influence over the majority. If you have 500,000 followers and you had influence over even 20,000 followers, I would be really impressed, because sometimes when you have more people to tend to and look after, things fall through the cracks, and it's not as easy to focus on your audience. So if you have 1,000 people and 1,000 people believe you and are influenced by you, then I'm envious of you, because that's winning.
Mm-hmm. And because influence is such like a topic, nowadays, but in reality, it's, it's like you have purchase power for people, essentially, what that is.
Yep. And that's what personal branding is all about. Mm-hmm. You are branding yourself as your first impression online to then sell whatever it is that you're selling, whether it's, a book that you're writing, a business that you're launching. The idea of creating a personal brand, it may even be just being a thought leader, mm-hmm. getting people to go to your blog, getting people to read your content. It doesn't even have to be in revenue, but you need to have influence. So choosing your niche and a select audience is really important.
All right, we've had 2 questions so far. Can we interject with both of them?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so the first question is from Frederick Weiss, who is awesome. He is one of the co-producers and co-hosts of an awesome podcast called Thunder Nerds. And he asked, what do you think about IGTV? And Dania, I'll let you go first, and then you already know my opinion.
You know, guys, I think Instagram is a very, very, I think Facebook is a very smart company. I think they know exactly what they're doing. For those of you who might not know, Facebook does own Instagram. So they're very smart, and what they're doing right now is really bringing everything in on one platform, and that has been their goal and their mission since April 2018, when they said, okay, buy third parties. When they even switched the API from being able to handle 5,000 developer calls per hour to 200 an hour, that's a big shift. They're saying, we don't want anyone else in our space. We want everyone to be on our platform and be here and spending as much time on the platform as possible. So I think it's pretty brilliant. I'm excited to see how it will evolve. I've looked at Instagram as the next form of advertisement and commercial for quite some time. We've been building videos with professional videographers for my clients to put on their stories to act as commercials. And now we have a real place to do that holds up to an hour of video. So this is pretty exciting. And today we actually just announced for my end that we will actually be offering IGTV packages.
Woo woo!
Instagram for more opportunity.
I absolutely love it.
You're the video girl too.
I love video, and this actually kind of segues into the next question that we have. But like my thoughts are, like, I don't think YouTube is going to go anywhere. You know, YouTube, you go there and you watch like these, like, it just depends, but like, you know, like beautifully created movies, which I think will be a little more difficult to do on Instagram just because it is vertical. You have limited amount of space to play with.
Right.
But I am excited to do like shorter videos on there and just see what happens with them. You know, I think it's a great place to test the waters if you're wanting to get into video and like really see what it's about. So another question we have from Lena says, what are your thoughts on documentation versus content creation for an individual, not a business? So have you watched Casey Neistat's, is it Casey Neistat or is it Gary Vee's video about this?
No, but I just saw a post about it today, and it's actually saved for me to go watch later. And I saw his headline is document versus create, or document not create, or something like that. So I'm assuming he lies on the documentation side.
I think it really, really, really depends on how creative you are, honestly, and the type of content you're wanting to produce. So like Josh and I do daily vlogs to document our life because we want to show people what it looks like to be like newly married, both growing companies, working together, working remote, because we feel that that's kind of a stronger message than just like teaching people how to do something. But then I also go on YouTube and look at the videos of people teaching and the people like creating content, if that makes sense. So I think it kind of just depends.
Yeah, I would agree with that. You know, I haven't read or listened to Gary Vee, but I do believe that people are interested when you document because like they're getting a real life taste. It's kind of like the phenomena of reality television, right?
Very true. Yep.
Love reality TV and reality marketing because it's happening in real time. It feels more relatable. It gives people something to look up to. And a little tip about personal branding is that a huge part of that is creating a story where you become the hero that someone else then tries to be.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Best personal brands, if you look at them, if you look at the people out there, you know, it's the typical zero to hero story every time. Every time it's, you know, whether it's The Rock or whatever influencer, oh, I slept on a blow up bed, which I did as well when I first moved to LA. Everyone has like that rock bottom story of I slept on a blow up bed in a tiny little apartment, could barely afford food. And then I did this, and people fall in love with the personal brand because they see themselves in the eyes of the hero. They see themselves one day being that hero and want to be that person. So it's something that inspires them. And I think that's something that documentation provides. But like Brandy said, if you're highly creative, some of the best movies we watch, you know, with heroes that aren't even real. I mean, look at the way that Philadelphia idolizes Rocky. Rocky's not even a real person. He's a fictional character, and Sylvester Stallone is like, he is a hero in Philadelphia. And everyone knows Rocky, and we have the statue. If you guys can't tell, I grew up in Philly, but it's like he's a perfect example of how something that was created can also inspire. So like I said, if you're creative, there are ways to do it, but it always goes back to the zero to hero story and then getting people to engage that way.
Mm-hmm. Another example is like Marvel. Look at any of those movies.
Yeah, all of them.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we have our first step was define who you are. Second, find your audience. And our third one is Miss Dania.
So your third step in personal branding is quality content.
All right.
Quality content is a really tricky or interesting topic because, you know, some people argue, oh, all the photos need to look like HD. They need to be with professional cameras. That's not necessarily what quality content means. Quality content means that you're offering value through that content. So if you don't have a professional camera, but you're using a stock image or maybe even just a selfie from your iPhone, which iPhone has a great camera, by the way. Don't get me wrong.
So does Google Pixel.
Yeah, it really does. So, you know, if you don't have the professional equipment, as long as you're backing it up with the content of what you're writing that's offering value, or, you know, even offering videos, offering live stream, you know, again, offering what your audience wants, but in a high quality way that provides value.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. And even, you know, like you said, the photos don't have to be like picture perfect, but as long as they're like a consistent theme, like on your page, on your profile, I think that also really helps. And having value points, like you said, in the actual like description of the photo, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. That's key because again, remember with your content, you're not supposed to post what you want to post. If you're really interested in personal branding, you know, this is about branding yourself, but in a way that appeals to your audience, right?
That's so difficult.
It is really, really hard. And people struggle with that because there's the constant battle of, but this is who I am and what I love. And I love wine and wine tasting. But if wine and wine tasting has nothing to do with your personal brand, keep it on your story. Keep it somewhere else. Find a way to combine both. If you're in tech and you want to put your wine glass next to your computer, at least the computer is still there because your audience wants to see the computer. They don't want to see the wine glass.
Yeah, they want to critique the code that's on that computer.
Exactly. They don't care about the nodes and the fruits of your wine. They care about your code.
So just randomly, so we're talking about like who we are as people. If you had to like, you know, pin like a spirit animal on who you are, like what would be your spirit animal, Dania?
I have always had an affinity with wolves, especially wolf pups.
Oh.
But I would specifically say that my spirit animal would be a she-wolf. So for my Spanish speakers out there, you know, some of us in childhood, we grew up with the story of La Loba. And she is like this she-wolf who roams the world, and she's like this free woman. And so it's a story that I've always loved. So I would have to say my spirit animal is the she-wolf.
I like that. I like that a lot. That does fit you.
Thank you. What about you? What's your spirit animal?
Well, it's a good question. So if I had to pick an animal, any animal, I would pick the orca.
Oh, I love orcas.
So when I was like a kid, this is pretty funny. I was in a like coloring contest or drawing contest and ended up winning. And I drew this picture of an orca.
Wow.
But the reason that I like them is because like they look really cute. But if you try to contain them, like take them captive, they will bite.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, their other name is killer whale, right?
Okay.
Which is not nice. We'll go with orca, but I love them. I always loved, it was the Free Willy video.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I loved those. My brother and I, we would watch those over and over and over. I like it.
Awesome. All right, you guys. So we have gone through 3 steps. First one was define who you are. Second, know your audience and find your audience. 3, quality content. And number 4, this one is a really, really important one, probably one of my favorites.
Yeah, I think it's my favorite as well. So the 4th step in personal branding is to collaborate. A lot of people, you know, you find yourself within yourself. Oh, I'm branding me. I'm very me focused. Everything is very me centric. But what you want to do is collaborate with the other thought leaders within your niche. And I'm not saying they have to have 500,000 followers. They don't need to have 2 million followers. It could even be someone with 500 followers that really aligns with what you're doing and believes and has the same message that you do. And when you collaborate, not only can you do super cool projects together, like Brandy and I, for example, but it's a way to network. Networking is everything. It builds your entire circle. You'll find friendships, you'll find business partners, you'll find, you know, people to even just vent with about the typical everyday struggles of your industry or your niche. But you also build trust with your community because they see you networking with all of these people that they also look up to. And it makes you more of a real person. You know, when Brandy and I go live, we're having a conversation with one another. It's a way that we're connecting and both giving back at the same time. And so that has even helped Brandy and I build trust within each other, you know, as well as with our audience, because you guys ask amazing questions and follow up with us and hang out with us. So it really creates like this healthy space. And at the end of the day, trust is how you gain influence. There is no influence without trust, because everything in life, most things go by word of mouth referral. If you have a friend that is like, this donut shop is amazing, you trust her, so you're going to go to the donut shop. I know that these analogies are ridiculous.
They're great. I love them.
Trust someone, you listen to them. And that's part of personal branding and building that trust, so that when you say, hey guys, I'm publishing articles on this blog and would love for you to read them, they trust you to take the time to click that link, read through, as well as share it to other people.
Yep. And I would also, so like going into the whole like collaborating and how that builds trust and like the sense of community and creates opportunities. Just like a quick side note, I can really attest to that. I've gotten almost all of my opportunities and job opportunities through networking with people, whether that's in person or on social media. Hold on, I gotta silence my text messages. So like on social media, just engaging with people. If you guys aren't aware, didn't know, Treehouse, teamtreehouse.com, they offer online courses. It was literally through me commenting on one of Ryan Carson's photos, letting him know that I love creating content, sent them a couple like videos of other tutorials that I did. That opened up this door of communication, and we ended up collaborating, and I created Introduction to React Native on their website if you ever want to go check it out. But that was literally through communicating and opening that door to collaborate with them.
Yeah, and I think that that's really powerful, and that's really the whole point, because networking, of course, is great for friends, but like Brandy is saying, the key thing is that this landed her a really great opportunity with like a really well-known company to be an expert in her field and connect with an incredible CEO like Ryan Carson. So that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. And that also goes to like the step before that, the quality of content that you create. So if I wouldn't have created like these online tutorials prior to this, that opportunity might not have ended in the same way. So that's why it's really important to like take these steps in the order that we're saying them, because it does make sense and it really does help.
Exactly.
All right. So we have step number 1, define who you are. Step number 2, find your audience. 3, quality of content. 4, collaborate and create that sense of community with your audience. And the final step, Miss Dania, step number 5.
The final step, and the really, really important step, once you have done all of those things, is build your website that relates to your personal brand and have an email list. You need an email list, not because I'm a huge advocate of email marketing. To be honest, I did email marketing for the last 10 years, and I think there's a lot of good, but I think social media has really stepped it up in terms of being able to directly message certain people and feel more trust that way. But I urge you to still get people's emails, not to bombard them with ridiculous marketing schemes, but to have them should something one day happen to your social media platform. If you have 500,000 followers and you wake up and Instagram is dead, you can no longer log into the app, which is everyone's worst fear right now. Trust me, I think about it all the time and have nightmares. But if you cannot get into that app, how do you have their contact information? You don't. You have no access to those followers. And if you weren't leading them to other places, such as podcasts or other platforms, which is why it's really important to never just put all of your eggs in one basket, you really need to have a few places that people can go to, which is why building the website is important. Gather your email list so that when you are ready, you have a list of contacts to launch your product, your book, your business, your blog, whatever it might be. Maybe it's your thought of the day. You have that list to reach those people, regardless of Instagram, regardless of Facebook.
It's so true. That's something that I always let people know, to pick like 3. I think I say 3. It's like 3 or 5. I don't remember actually which rule I follow. But if you're just starting out, to pick 3 platforms that you're going to post on. And the easiest way to do this is to do written content, especially if video is scary for you. You can write up a blog post and break it out into chunks and put that on Instagram and Twitter and also Facebook. If you want to be brave, you can also turn that into a video, and you can push that out on YouTube, Snapchat, maybe like do a music mix on Musical.ly, and now obviously IGTV.
Yeah, I've been dying to try Musical.ly. So
I have it. I'm going to come up with something. Just wait, you guys.
Yeah, that's going to be really fun. Guys, I agree. Like, video is the future. And if IGTV did not prove what we have all been saying for so long, that video is the future of social media marketing and content, because they see your face, they see you speak, they gain trust. You can be authentic on video. As long as you're doing it correctly, it is the future. Get on it and do it. But get that email list so that you can send people your super cool video.
And something, just like a little tip on what I did, because I have a blog out there and I write on it. I don't really like share that I write on it. It's more like I just do it. But I
find Brandy's diary.
It's not that hard to find. But you can, on like your stories or even on your posts, you can offer, and I know Dania hates this word, but like freebies.
Yeah.
But you can offer free stuff, whether that's like content calendars like you were talking about, even though they're not like digital, or, you know, desktop backgrounds, Instagram backgrounds, whatever type of stuff that you're creative in posting, and then have people sign up. And then when they sign up, they get those, you know, they get those free things. And then that's one person on your email list. Exactly.
And yeah, I know. I'm getting used to it. People love the word freebie, and I love the concept. It is a great concept because you are giving something without asking for anything in return, which again establishes trust. So when you can provide a free resource or, find a freebie, at least you're giving something that then when you're ready to put something out there, people will buy it from you because you are a credible source.
Yep, very, very, very true. So, does that lead into well, you guys, as you know, we've talked about this and hinted at Dania and I working together. I don't know if Dania, do you want to give the backstory on how this even started?
Yeah, so as many of you know, Brandy and I met on Instagram, and we have still not met in real life. We have never had an in-person meeting. We've never gotten to be together in the same state, let alone city, let alone room.
Which is why the trust thing that Dania mentioned is super important.
Yeah, and Brandy and I really built trust over our phone calls, our video calls, doing Tech Tuesdays, going live with you guys, as well as our own personal brands, because I can look at Brandy's Instagram very easily and see her engagement, see her tribe, and understand that Brandy is in a specific space doing something very specific, and I align with that. So that really built our trust. But I know you guys are all waiting to hear what we've been up to. Brandy and I were getting a lot of the same kinds of comments in our direct messages. And number one rule of marketing, you have to give people what they want, not what you want to give them. So something that kept coming up were constant messages asking for advice when it came to branding, social media, and digital marketing. As we all know, Instagram is always changing. There are always new features. The algorithm is very tricky. And so we've been helping each other out in a lot of different things where I'm algorithm based. Brandy's really great at branding and niche marketing and marketing campaigns. So putting our heads together, we wanted to provide something for you guys that will allow you a platform to have an unlimited resource library to all things digital marketing, starting with Instagram. Everything from the basics of Instagram to the algorithm to IGTV. We're on it. Trust us. We
hashtag late nights.
Yeah, hashtag late nights, hashtag no sleep ever. But we really believe that the future of digital marketing cohesively integrates the technologist and the creative. We want techies to be able to learn and find their creativity, and we want our creatives to understand tech and data and things that will make their marketing strategies stronger. So we have designed a platform for you of an affordable education subscription where we'll teach you guys courses, everything from content creation to data-driven marketing strategies. And all of these courses provide expert training from creative to technical skill sets, whether you're a really ambitious individual or a resourceful corporation or business. So welcome to Creators Code.
And you guys can sign up. We do have a link in the description. And as she said, it's, the techie and also the creative. I would consider myself like both. I do think that the tech community, like as developers, as a developer myself, I really genuinely want to help people discover their influence because I think everybody has it, no matter where they're at in their journey. And this platform is really going to allow people to find it, hone it in, and create it for themselves.
Exactly. And we know that there are some great platforms out there that offer very technical skill sets, but we saw that there wasn't one that was really offering creative skill sets using tech and using data. So we really want to let you into our world and share what we know and have class with you guys. And so we will launch in September. Brandy, as she said, has a link that you guys can go to join the wait list. We'll start promoting our social media channels as well, but you can find us on creatorscode.co. And we're really, really excited to have you be in this pre-launch with us. We want to practice what we preach. We believe in showing you guys where we are. So here we are, pre-launch, pre-product, and we are ready to go and give to you guys everything that we know about social media marketing.
Yep, we want to make it super obtainable for everybody, and we want to come in. We are going to have like super basic stuff for, you know, the very beginner, but then we're also going to go as advanced as teaching people the different algorithms that these social platforms use, and not only the algorithm itself, but like how to use it, how to engage properly with it to make sure that the content you're creating is being seen by everybody. Because there's, you know, like people say, oh, if I build a great product, everybody will come. That's not true. And the same is true about a brand and content that you create. Just because you create great content doesn't mean people are going to read it, because they might not know about it. And so we really want to put those tools in your guys' hands to help people see your content and see how awesome the stuff it is that you guys are doing.
Exactly. So if you have any other questions or specific courses that you're interested in, please let us know. There will be a few courses per month as we enroll, and hopefully we can do more and more and more and more. But we will see you guys in class this fall.
Yay! Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, guys. Thank you for hanging out with us. We hope that this was helpful. Those are our 5 tips for building your personal brand. If you have any additional questions, message either one of us. And I'm just excited to see who the giveaway winner was on Brandy's Instagram.
Yeah, if you saw my most recent Instagram post, I said first one to comment my spirit animal and Dania's spirit animal will win one of these awesome mouse pads. And the other one says hustle on it, if I can find it. So we have hustle. So make sure to go comment.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for being here with us. This was really exciting for us to finally tell you what we have been working on. And we have a couple months to go, but we are Team No Sleep. We are getting this done. We believe in affordable education for all things digital marketing and creative. And we're really, really excited that you were able to be here with us as we build and grow. So I don't want to cry, but thank you. Like we really appreciate it.
Yeah, we do. Thank you guys. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful night. I think we're going to sign off.
Bye. Cheers.